Ms. Rupa Datta. Ma'am, could you tell us about your experience being the retired principal economic advisor for DPIT and with Exim Bank, ma'am?
Yeah. Let me tell you that I was involved with the Ministry of Commerce and Industry for about, I would say, about 12 years. So
Mhm.
started from 2012 from Commerce, then DPIT, and I was looking after gems and jewelry exports for about 7 to 8 years,
All
and
right.
involved with this industry till now. So
Mhm.
it has been like 12 to 13 years. It's been a very interesting experience and a roller coaster ride.
Mhm.
There was a time when we started the gem and jewelry exports were about 40. It went up to $44 billion. Yes, subsequently COVID and other issues happened. So now last year it was 30 billion dollars. But we are fully confident. That this will again increase, and maybe probably by 2030 we are looking at exports of $70 billion.
Correct.
And
Exactly.
this study, which we had when I was in Exim Bank,
Mhm.
after my retirement, I was working with Exim Bank for 1.5 years. Highlighted, we have identified 17 clusters,
Mhm.
have traveled personally to all of them. I mean, me and my team, along with DGPC, and we are confident that the kind of inputs which have been provided and the pathway outlined would help us in promoting exports and increasing further.
That's wonderful, ma'am. In the last year, we've had FTAs and SEPA signed with Oman, with UK, with New Zealand, with Australia. Um because of the tariff situation with USA, we're also looking into the Far East market. So, could you comment on how the industry overall is looking at Far East?
See, I would not be able to give a specific comment on this regard, but what I would like to give is, and I'm very clear in this, that signing FTAs is just the first step.
Mhm.
Because, like it has happened with UAE, exports have improved, but imports have also increased. What we need to do is, and some of it has been highlighted today,
Mhm.
we need to firstly, look at, besides the traditional jewelry for the gems and jewelry sector, besides the traditional jewelry, we have to look at wearable jewelry, the kind of jewelry which the millennials want, which is light weight jewelry, which is like more of a fashion statement. So if we have to conquer newer markets,
Mhm.
look into newer segments of the population, then we have to move up the value chain. So we have to look at, besides diamond cutting and polishing, where we are doing now 94% of the world's diamonds are cut and polished here.
Correct.
We have to look at silver jewelry, studded diamond jewelry, gold jewelry, platinum, colored gemstones. So there are a lot of new opportunities coming. That is first thing for the FTAs to be successful.
Right.
Secondly, at the back end as well as the front end has to come through.
Hmm.
So by the back end, what I mean is that I know Government of India, I've worked there, is putting in a lot of efforts. So we are looking at the export promotion mission, we are looking at interest equalization schemes, market assistance schemes, trade factoring, etc. But
Correct.
along with it, a smooth implementation, access to MSMEs. This sector is largely dominated by MSMEs.
Mhm.
Access to MSMEs in terms of finance, collateral-free loans, easier availability of working capital, and also better logistics arrangements.
Right.
And lesser turnaround time in ports, have a risk management system through which your e-commerce flourishes, your packages move through to an end-to-end tracking, use blockchain and AI monitoring, etc. Unless both of these come through, the FTS is an important input, but it has to get into an output and outcome.
Absolutely.